Well, let's continue this conversation with a couple of good friends of mine. Tony Perkins is president of the Family Research Council, and Bill Donohue is president of the Catholic League. Gentlemen, welcome. Tony, I will start with you. Do you think the Dodgers learned their lesson here?
Well, I don't know. They must be slow at learning because they weren't the first to see the pushback from the American public. This is, Todd, I mean, your intro was excellent. This is about much more than baseball. This is mom, baseball, and apple pie. Americans are saying, you know what? We bought into a lie, this idea of live and let live, where it all began really with kind of same-sex marriage taking us down this slippery slope, and they're realizing now they're indoctrinating our children. They've infected everything coming out of Hollywood, and even our sports have been corrupted. We can't shop without seeing this. So I think Americans have had enough, as you said, and they are pushing back. They realized they bought into more than they bargained for. They got scalped when they went down this path.
Well, I think we're having a little audio difficulty here, guys. I'm not able to hear Tony or Bill, but Bill, I do want to go to you. Look, they're saying these nuns are trying to honor, they're trying to parody the Catholic faith, but it looks to me like these are demonic individuals. Bill, your take on that?
Well, right. As I wrote to Rob Manfred, I've been writing to him a lot lately. He's the commissioner of Major League Baseball. If a bunch of white guys put on blackface and they said that, oh, we're doing some good, we're giving to charity, can we get honored? Everybody knows what the answer would be. This group was started in 1979. They've been bashing the Catholic Church in particular, but all of Christians for several decades. That's why we were able to get them disinvited originally. When on May 16th, we contacted our huge list of email subscribers, and they pounded and bombarded Manfred. Then, of course, he pivoted the next day because he got pressure from the other side. But the fact of the matter is, Tony's right. People are fed up. This is like a tipping point between Bud Light and Target and the like. And you're also right, Todd, too, to mention Christians don't act like Antifa and Black Lives Matter. We get to the streets, but we do it in a nonviolent way. That has to be punctuated.
Tony, I want to go back to you. You know, this is really becoming, I think, one of these defining moments of the generation when it comes to the culture at large. What message do you have for Americans who might be afraid of engaging the culture, of speaking out? I think what happened in California is a great example of how you can have a positive impact on the culture without being violent, without marching in the actual streets of a downtown city center.
Yeah, both you and Bill hit that on the head. You know, when you're marching for truth, you don't need to tear down cities. You just speak the truth. And I think that's what Americans are realizing, that as we stand up for those values that this nation was built upon, it is having an effect. I mean, we're actually seeing, according to Gallup, an increase in social conservatism, a 5-point increase over last year, the number of Americans who identify as social conservative, while at the same time, a decrease in those who support the whole idea of same-sex marriage. People are connecting the dots. We need to be bold. We need to speak out. We can make a difference.
All right, Tony, I want to go back to Bill for just a moment. Bill, the Catholic League, you guys have really been at the forefront of these attacks on the culture, and especially the Catholic faith of late. Where do you see us going from here, Bill? Is this going to be one of those pivotal moments when people finally realize, wait a second, there are a lot more Christians in this country than there are the other side who want to silence people of faith?
That's right. I think this is a cultural marker. And let me tell you, losing can be contagious, and our side has been losing. So can winning be contagious. Now we have a number of wins under our belt, and those people believe in traditional moral values, traditional Catholics, evangelical Protestants, Orthodox Jews, many Muslims and Mormons. I'm very happy with the Muslims, what they're doing in Hamtramck in Michigan, fighting back against the trans group. Yeah. We were told all along, I was talking to a very famous bishop whose name I won't mention. He said to me just recently, he was a cardinal actually, he said, Bill, all I thought we were supposed to do is give them tolerance. And once they got their tolerance, they'd be happy. Well, they don't want tolerance. They want affirmation. They want to shove it down our throat. And that's when we hold up a nice big stop sign and say, this thing can't go on any longer. And thank God we have Newsmax and my good friend Tony Perkins, because I know we stand together.
Yeah, Tony, I'm going to give you the last word. Of course, Pray, Vote, Stand is a big event coming up later this year in Washington. And it's one of those important moments, I think, for people all over the nation to come together and know that they're really not alone in this fight.
Absolutely. September the 15th through the 17th, conservative leaders from across the spectrum gathering in Washington, D.C. for Pray, Vote, Stand. People can find out about it at prayvotestand.org. But I just want to say this about my good friend Bill. I say amen to all that he said. It's a joy to stand with him in defending those values that made this nation great.
Thank you so much.
And guys, I'm glad to say we got the audio issues worked out. I think the nuns may have put a hex on us or something, Bill. I don't know. But I'm going to give you the last word, Bill Donohue. You know, you keep fighting every single day. Why is it so important for people of all faiths to stand together? Because we've certainly seen the Muslims even taking the lead on some of these local fights.
Unlike somebody like Paul Ryan, who's on the board of Fox News, who came out last week and he says that he's not a cultural warrior. We should be worried about the debt crisis. I got news for people like him. You don't have to worry about the debt crisis if the culture collapses, all right? We're in a state of moral anarchy, and we have to resurrect our society.
Absolutely true.
All right, Tony, I think Bill's preaching like a Baptist over here. I don't know what's going on.
He is. I'm going to recruit him, and I'm going to dunk him.
I'll take you guys any day over some of the Catholics I have to work with.
All right, Tony Perkins, Bill Donohue, guys, thank you very much and appreciate you coming on this show.